Evening, welcome back to Paul on Monday nights on Free Sports. We've got some more shootout showdowns for you. £6,500 on the line tonight. First up, it's Lee Killen taking on Daz Cheetham. Simon Webb caught up with both ahead of the big one.
What is it about money matches that appeals to you?
Obviously there's a monetary factor, but when you start playing, I think it's more the crowd and the atmosphere for me that it's a bit of a buzz.
Just keeps me a lot more focused, a lot more buzz. Usually there's a crowd obviously, but not tonight. A bigger crowd makes you stay focused. I don't lapse in concentration like I would in a tournament or drinking beer all day.
Does the size of the pot you're playing for change the amount of pressure you feel?
Not at all really. I usually tend to have the same amount of money on myself, so and when you start playing you forget the money's even there, so you're just turning on the moment and you just want to win.
Yeah, definitely. Usually with a bigger pot you get a bigger crowd also. Obviously you've got a lot more people with money on you, so you've got that added pressure as well.
No crowd tonight. Is that going to change the dynamic, and will the live TV add anything to it?
Yeah, I think it will, because like I said, I do like a crowd and I like being and it's a bit of buzz and stuff when the crowd gets going, but obviously we know the cameras are there and stuff, so we'll see how it goes. And
no, I prefer it. It makes me focus more usually if I'm under a bit more pressure, so hopefully that'll be the case.
Thoughts on your opponent tonight?
We've not really crossed paths, so I don't know too much about him, but obviously he's going to be a decent player if he's coming in for this, so just hope it's a good game.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
I don't really know much about him, to be honest. I just feel people said it was a fairish game, so I can't really comment on him too much, to be honest. Just got to play at balls yourself, haven't you, I suppose.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, there are our two players. Here are your two commentators. Stephen Jameson joined us over by Simon Webb this Monday night. Simon, two really good players on offer for our first match this evening. Scotland versus England, which is always very nice to see. What can we expect from our opening match tonight?
I think it's going to be more of the same. We've seen some brilliant matches so far on these Monday nights. We've seen some drama, we've seen some mistakes, we've seen some great pool, but whichever way it goes, we always end up with some drama. It's the format, it's the sets, and it's a short race for such a large amount of money, and both players are going to feel the pressure. Yeah,
£3,000 on the line for this opening match, which is no small amount of money. Both these players have played for larger sums, but in such a short format, it's probably best not to get too carried away. It's an interesting matchup, this one, especially because it seems to have captured the imagination, particularly amongst a certain section of pool players out there in the community, Simon. The idea that these money matches are now on TV, available to everyone, is really starting to get really exciting.
Absolutely, I think some of the players are really scrambling to try and get involved, and they want to play, and they're looking for the right matchup and see who they can play and can they get involved. And yeah, I think the organisers have done a great job to get the matchups lined up, and I think this is another one that is, I've said this all the way through, what you need to have a good match is you need to have a very even match, and this is exactly that. Both players are capable of winning this match, and it's another coin flip.
Well, currently watching the lag between the two. This will decide who breaks first in our opening set, and that is going to be Daz Cheetham. Make no mistake about that. That's just about as perfect a lag as you could possibly ever hit. If that's a sign of what's to come from Daz, he'll be very, very happy with that. Our action is live. Next. Welcome back to the Shootout Showdown here on Free Sports. We are almost ready to go with our first game of the evening. Lee Killen versus Daz Cheetham. Daz has the opening break. Simon, we've seen throughout this competition, throughout this format in recent weeks, how important it is to get off to a good start. And no truer than the very first frame of the match. Both these players, be fair to expect a few nerves, a few butterflies in the early going. Big start here for Daz Cheetham, who gets up for a flyer with a cracking opening break.
I completely agree. We've seen what we've seen so far, and we've seen some great pool. We've also seen some guys under a lot of pressure, and if they don't settle early in the match can get away from them really quickly. And we've seen a few that have just been edgy all the way through, but we've also seen those matches, looking at the Matt Lawrenson match where he just got off to a great start and he was able to continue, and they both played well in that match. So it'd be important to settle.
Daz off and running on yellows.
He'll be disappointed. big target to catch that little cluster of 2 reds and a yellow. He needed to catch that cluster, otherwise he's going to have a problem. That yellow needs to be developed, and from where he is, that yellow's difficult to get to. He doesn't have an angle to do it from here. Maybe on the... Oh, he has tried to do it from there. He was trying to play into the onto the cushion with screw and reverse side to try and create the angle that wasn't quite there, and that's what's caused the miscue.
Yeah, he was really trying to force that.
Look how low he's trying to hit that ball, and he's also playing that with an awful lot of right-hand side to create the angle. So Daz Cheetham's first chance comes and goes. This will be our first look at Lee Killen. Would have preferred that red to stay on the table, if he's honest. He wanted just to nudge that over the bottom cushion just to make it an easy ball to land on the red at the bottom of the table.
It's amazing how often they pot those without meaning to, with absolutely no care and attention to the shot, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just float that down there and leave it over the pocket and it'll be fine. But it dropped in, which means he's going to have to play at least one very good positional shot to land on the red at the bottom of the table. He may go down for it now. He doesn't want to kiss the yellow. It seems like such a small thing making that red with a free shot, but the difference between keeping that on the table and not is the finish here, because unless he comes up with an incredible cut along this bottom cushion, the finish isn't on.
Well, he's going to take it on. This is a tough shot. He's close. I don't think he can even get closer. Really good effort. You can see it hanging over the lip of the pocket. It isn't there. And Daz Cheetham will be delighted to get a second go at this frame.
He still has the same problem though. Yellow in the top half of the table doesn't have a pocket. I don't know whether the natural angle is going to go into them or not. That red in the middle of the table looks like a huge ball. Yeah, that looked difficult to go past that and get into the yellow.
He's just having a look to see if it'll play into the middle off the red. Wowee!
That's huge.
What a shot that is. Daz Cheetham. We're underway.
This is brilliant. That is not easy to do. That wasn't what he was playing for. He was trying to develop it, but when you don't land on it, you've got to come up with something big, and you've only got 20 seconds to come up with something big, and, well, boy did he.
That's a hell of a shot. We are playing black ball rules tonight. Ball must hit the cushion after contact. A foul introduces a shot and a visit. No 2 shots or 2 shots carry, anything like that. Shootout rules means a golden break, potting black off the break. Will win you the frame. Golden duck, where you put the black and the white, will lose you it. We will play 2 sets of 30 minutes. If it's 2-0, the player who's 2-0 up will win. If it's 1-1, we will go to a deciding frame. 20-second shot clock throughout. And the clock stops at half an hour, and we will take the score. Unless someone is already 5 frames on the board. It's a race to 5 or a race to 0 on the clock. That's the easiest way to think about it. Whichever one comes first, we will take. This is the first break for Lee Killen, who is creamed that one. He's hit that really nicely, and something I've noticed actually, Simon, is it's a really good sign when both players break well right off the start, because generally you'll get splits like this and there's chances straight away, which players with this ability, you back him to take down.
I know it's early in this match, but this is quite a big visit to the table for Lee. He would have expected to win that previous frame after the Daz Cheetham foul. He had that free shot and he had a pretty, I wouldn't say easy clearance, but he had one that he would expect to make. And this one's the similar sort of situation. Great break. They've all come out nicely. Just doesn't make the one to the centre. Just from the cushion rather than being hand on the table made the difference there.
Wasn't the easiest of pots, but it's one, again, use that phrase, it's one that you would have expected to make. Been saying all the way through the competitions that have been played on this table, middle pockets are tight, you have to be precise. You can see there on the overhead replay of Lee's shot that it wasn't quite right. And playing at the pace he didn't really give it too much of a chance. But that was tough for Daz. And he too can't quite find the right angle.
Similar story to the first frame, but the other way around. Lee in first, makes the mistake. Daz hasn't been able to punish it.
Well, that one is a surprise.
Yeah, and that was frame ball. If that drops in, then Lee would all but certainly make the clearance from there, as routine as it gets. So that's 2 chances in this frame, 1 in the previous frame. Still tricky for Daz though. 2 reds at the bottom of the table. It will go into the left centre, so he could play position if he wanted to. If he tries to play into them, there's no guarantee they'll come out nicely. So some mileage in playing the positional shot. He's gone for the cannon.
I think
Well, I was going to say he hasn't come out particularly nicely unless he can get through the gap to pop the red in the centre. But even if he can, it's a very tight cut into that left centre. He's cutting back the one he's nearest to. This is tough.
Oh, I wonder if the white stopped in its tracks, or was it the yellow? I'm not too sure. Either way, end of break. It was a gamble from Daz to play it the way he did. A little bit unlucky because the positional shot he played to cannon the reds was beautiful, really.
He played the shot as well as he could in terms of he got the cannon and he played it at a nice pace, but I don't know, for me there was maybe some mileage in playing the position. Both balls went into the left centre and they were far enough. Oh, Lee's made another mistake. Oh dear.
If he could have picked one place on the table he didn't want to be, it would probably be there.
Should still make this yellow. Will he land on the next ball? No, he doesn't make the yellow, and this time it should cost him the frame.
Not settled yet as Lee Killen. And whilst Daz made a couple of errors, he also had tougher chances, I'd say, as well. He certainly settled the quicker. Much more at home. Already like watching him play. He's got a very stylish cue action. Really falls through the ball. Plays quick. 20-second shot clock won't bother him at all. And he's 2-0 up. It's a good start for Daz. Reminder once again of our format. Introduction of the extension as well, which needs to be timed well. Don't waste it early on. Learned that from a couple of our early games. 20 seconds towards the end of a set could be everything. Once we're halfway through the set, by the way, the match clock will stop for the re-racking of the balls. And of course, sets can be tied. If we're 3-3, for example, after half an hour, both players get half a point, and it turns the second set into a decider. And Daz is going to come up dry there. He's unlucky to do so. Going says pretty well.
Hit that break as well as he hit the first break. This just come up dry. That's the nature of this game.
You mentioned the last time he came to the table, Sam, that you felt like it was an important visit. I think that's just trebled or so, hasn't it?
Well, for my money, he's had 4 really good chances so far in this match, and he's not been able to take any of them. And this one's by far and away the hardest. So this would be his 5th chance. I think his first shot he was probably playing on this red up the top right hand side, and he just landed on the yellow and wasn't able to play it, so he's had to play an extra shot to take this on. It's not going to drop.
Overcut it. Wasn't an easy shot. He wanted to be much closer to it. It was a tricky red. It has tied up the pocket though. This isn't easy. What's Daz got up his sleeve here?
Just trying to take the pocket back. No attempt at playing the pot there. And Daz has managed to do that. It's tricky to get that red in behind that yellow now, even to take the pocket back. But he's done it. That's a good shot.
Yeah, the skill shot very much in operation in black ball rules. It means that the taking of a pocket isn't the end of the world. You can pot your opponent's ball as long as you pot one of your own.
And the way Daz has played that, this yellow that's on just above the right-hand centre pocket, this goes off the red to the top right. Looks tight to me because he wants to play this with enough pace to get the red away from the pocket. This could double kiss and not go in. Yeah, it wasn't a big pocket. You get that, sometimes you get that situation and it just looks like a big pocket you can't miss. But that wasn't one of those. It was tight.
And now he's doubled up his problem because he's only got 2 balls blocked by that red. At least where it was before, it could have doubled.
How aggressive does Lee want to be? He has an angle here to take this in and get into the problem area, but he decides to play the safety. Can't blame him for that, the way the first 2 frames have gone, but if he'd won those first 2 frames, I think he might have taken the aggressive route.
Strange one really for Lee especially. Simon, we were talking off air before the show about the 2 players, and Lee's certainly a player with a lot of more traditional pedigree.
Oh, no doubt. Lee made the Scottish A team a few years ago, and to make the Scottish A team you have to be a serious player. The strength and depth in Scotland, and a huge number of their top players want to play for Scotland, and the team is only a team of, well, it's a 5-man team, but you can take a couple of reserves, so you're talking about 6, maybe 7 players at absolute most for any event. So for Lee to get into that top 6 in Scotland, is huge. That's such an achievement. Of course, went on to win the tournament with Scotland, something I know he's very proud of.
Who did you play in the final? Sorry.
Well, it was. I was also played in that event, and unfortunately lost in the semi-finals, which I have a feeling is what you're starting to dig at there. But not one of my friendliest memories of Paul. But Scotland were great that week, and wasn't to be. Good for Lee.
Very magnanimous there. Well, Daz just tried to open things up at the top of the table. He's not done a bad job of it, actually. It's come out kind of okay for both players. But this does mean Lee probably needs to think aggressively. He can land on that red to the top of the table. It's not the end of the world. But the reds that are tied up in the middle of the table now with the 2 yellows now become a slight issue. He has got a natural way to cannon the top one of those out, though.
He doesn't have to play the cannon if he doesn't want to, but if he doesn't play the cannon, he has to land absolutely perfect. So he is going to play the cannon. And it's not just getting the red over the up towards the top pocket. He's got to land on it in a way that he can land on the next ball. He'll be pleased with that. Probably has to play this with a trace of right-hand side. He needs to get the white very close to the top cushion to make the next shot on.
Getting on the black is going to be his next problem, but one shot at a time.
Didn't play that with a huge amount of right-hand side. Played that a bit more plain ball. I think he's just about on the red. I worry that he's going to hit the yellow trying to screw out here. He's come out clean.
Front of that yellow is going to make a horrific cueing. That's unfortunate.
This is about as difficult a pot as you can have. I mean, he's huge odds against making this.
Oh, for the frame. Unlucky.
It's not a surprise to see that being missed by so far. He could stand there for 20 minutes and not make that black, so that's how tough it was.
And if he gets a ball roll the other side of that yellow, it becomes one that he puts 9 times out of 10, maybe even more.
Absolutely.
But for Daz, he's taking his time in this frame. He's not really had the better of it, but he's got a chance here to go 3-0 up.
I think that'll please Daz. He hasn't had to do much to earn his opportunities. He's just had to sit back and wait for the mistakes from Lee.
That's confidently played. He'll know all about this table and how tight those middle pockets play, especially at pace. Had to get that cued bang on. Did.
Not the perfect angle on the yellow down by the black, but I think he wants to take it first. On and off the cushion, white back in the centre of the table. Just has to decide which way he wants to play this and commit to that rather than just dropping this in. Yeah, that's lovely. Really nice.
Well, one shot away from 3-0. And a perfect start really for Daz Cheetham. He can have very few complaints with that. 3-zip to the Englishman. Great start from Daz. Hometown of Rotherham, the fire starter. 33 years of age. He's got an excellent record as well in money matches, which is impressive. Big Sheffield Wednesday fan. And he's a Rocket fan as well, which is, I think everyone is after watching the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Ronnie O'Sullivan is a big favourite amongst the pool community, amongst the sports community, and 6 times champion of the world now. Is fantastic. There's still time for Lee in this set. 3-0 down, just under 13 minutes on the clock. There's enough time to win 3 frames, there's enough time to win 4. But he's going to have to find something quickly because he's had a number of chances and so far hasn't been able to take any. And he's immediately got one here in frame number 4. Key shot coming up. He has to land on the red to the top right next. Oh, that's unlucky. That is unlucky.
It'll start to get to the point now, because it is for me watching, where I'm just thinking he's millimetres out on a couple of these. It's just starting to... It started raining and now it's pouring on Lee at this stage. And he's given away the foul as well. I think he just clipped the yellow. Have a look from our overhead shot in a moment. Here we go. Donna Evans eagle-eyed. So Daz with a shot and a visit to open things up.
Lovely free shot as well. Does 2 things. It develops his worst yellow, but also knocks a red into a nice safe position on the cushion. Just give him a bit more freedom in the clearance. Probably going to need 1 good positional shot. Yellow just to the right of the black. Well, I was going to say probably needs a good positional shot, but that camera angle there shows it. It does go to the bottom right and there is room to land on it, so shouldn't have too many problems. Ideal world, you want to be straight in on the yellow to the bottom left, and that'll leave you easy for the last yellow and the black.
Reminder of what we're playing for tonight. Not all of it, don't worry. Got plenty of matches with which to dish out all that wonga.
It's our biggest pot so far, isn't it, tonight?
6.5 grand on the line tonight across 2 matches.
Is it 3 for this first match and then 3.5 for the second? That's yeah, certainly ramping up in pot size. Possibly target that red that's in between the 2 yellows. Just use that as a little target, bump into that. Lovely. Just perfect control all the way through this finish for Daz.
Taking these out quite beautifully. Mentioned his favourite player is Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's racing around the table, Ronnie-esque. Barely even queuing him in. 4-0 with 10 minutes still to play in our first set. It's a perfect start from Daz Cheetham. They keep on ticking. He's off to a flyer. The fire starter. Lee Killen has got some work to do. He too is a Ronnie O'Sullivan fan, also a big fan of Rangers too.
See the Nations Cup victory with Scotland, eh? That's what I was talking about a few minutes ago in Malta.
Excellent money match record as well. It was interesting actually listening to his interview earlier, Simon, that he was talking about how he really almost revelled in the crowd. I just wonder if he's a player who sort of thrives on that and is almost missing that element a touch, as Daz Cheetham questions the table as to why it's not giving him a chance to go and win the set here.
Possibly. I mean, he hasn't settled. You do feel this in any match, that if you don't settle early, things can get away from you. The difference between, say, a normal money match, which would be a sort of race to, as Lee runs out of position again, although he still has the one over the left centre, but yeah, just going back to that, a normal money match, you could go 4-0 behind, but you wouldn't panic because you're playing a race to 25, you know, maybe 21, but you know, most money matches now are up around the 25 mark. Which is a much longer race, and you have time to recover. The difference here is they're playing for, you know, a decent sum of money, and it's a very short race in money match terms. Two sets of races to 5, but only 30 minutes each, and then a tiebreak if it's tied. That is very short, and you bang under it from ball 1.
But the beauty of the set format, of course, that Lee could well lose this opening set 5-0, but he is only 1-0 down. Still a long way to go in the set format.
He's just run out of position again. I was just about to say, because of that set format, this is actually a really big visit, that if he could find the finish, you know, a nice little reverse dish just to set them down, that even if he doesn't come back in this set, which he still could, but it's unlikely, then he can start the next set knowing that he's queuing well. He's just made a nice reverse dish and let's go again.
Just asking the referee to see if that ball was touching the cushion.
He needed to get the white welded to the yellow to limit Daz's options. He still put Daz under a little bit of pressure, but that's a good shot. Can't pop this red, can only see about quarter ball on it, and he can't make it off the other red, so not a lot he can do.
Yeah, deja vu here for Daz Cheetham in a way.
Harder to play the same shot for Daz from the position he's in. May look to go up the table. I think the yellow just to the top left, near the left centre pocket, might not be the worst ball to play off. Where he's going to be more aggressive, take the pot on, and then maybe either look for the clearance or find a safety at the top end of the table.
The clearance may be there for him, honestly, and he's not got an awful lot to lose by going for it either, but 4-0 up with less than 7 minutes remaining. I think he played to knock that yellow out.
Similar to the shot he played earlier on in the set, where he tried to knock the ball out rather than playing on it, and you know, he could have played on that, just drift to the bottom right hand corner, it would go in the centre or the top left corner.
And he tried to play on it there. Played the position nice, but missed the pot. Now then, this should be it for Lee Killen. Should be the first frame on the board for the Scot.
I just wonder whether Daz will regret that once we get going, and you know, even if Daz goes on to win this set, you know, you've got your opponent, you know, bang under it, he hasn't won a frame, and now you've just, this will settle Lee down, and might be one that's got away for Daz.
Well, 6 minutes and 2 seconds remaining, 4-1. I mean, this would be possibly the best comeback we've ever seen in Shootout pool history. This is the matches tonight. Gaz Higgins, John O'Sullivan, or John Sullivan I should say, to come in a wee while.
John Sullivan has played probably as many money matches as anyone has ever. hundreds and hundreds of money matches for John. He just absolutely loves them.
Frame 6, Lee Killen to break, trading 4 frames to 1. Time running.
It's a great break. And Lee at the table. And we have seen some great moments in the shootout format in particular. You know, you think of that shootout final comeback from Simon Fitzsimmons, but even in the Super Series that we had recently, we had the comeback from Sean Story, I think against Simon Fitzsimmons actually, where he won 4 frames in 6 minutes to win a set. It is not beyond the realms of possibility.
Also, you know, you're absolutely right, it's not beyond the realms, but it's also, you know, Lee doesn't have to try and win 5 frames or win another 4 frames here in 5 minutes. He needs to win 3 more frames, and at 20 seconds a shot, that is doable. He's going to need 1 or 2 very quick finishes to make it happen.
Oh no.
Oh, just when we were thinking this could be one of them, he misses probably the easiest pot of the night.
Yeah, that one's unforgivable really, and he'll know that.
You can see from the overhead there, if he makes that ball and lands straight on the yellow to the top left from the overhead, it's just simple 3 pots left and the black at the top of the table. There's nothing to do, it's all straight, straight, straight. So that's a huge miss. That is a frame, you know, he should be wrapping that frame up with just over 4 minutes on the clock, which is long enough. Now Daz, even if he doesn't make this finish, he's going to kill enough time that he should be clear with a 4-1 lead.
Happy to play safe.
Well, he's given Lee a chance. I'm not sure if he can see the one over the pocket, but he's definitely got the plant.
He'll do. It's come out nicely as well. Second plant will follow.
It's a frame-winning shot. Just has to put the finishing touches to it. Oh, he's underhit it. He's got a huge margin of error to land on this yellow, and he's come up a couple of feet short of perfect. That's as bad as any miss we've seen so far.
Just struggling at the minute is Lee. And Daz is aware of the clock, should we say? So that's a very long chalk of the cue and a little look back at the screen. Goes to show that they're thinking about it.
Yeah, no thoughts of going for the clearance either. I wondered whether as long as he could land on the red to the top left comfortably enough, and it looks like there's enough room, I thought he would go for that finish. But he's going to let the clock just die down.
It's a great hit that from Lee, actually. It was not an easy snooker to get out of.
This red does pass the black, so finish is there for him now. No need to play any more snookers. Hasn't landed nicely on the red to the top left, but I think he should still take it on. Natural white. If he doesn't make it, the red should cover the pocket and would only leave a very difficult skill shot for Lee. But he sees it another way. And he hasn't landed nicely. Hard to play a snooker this time. Possibly still take the red to the top left. Just drop this one in. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
That's a honking fluke. And that'll just tell Lee that, well, this set wasn't mine. It's not to be this set.
It's not. It's going to be the set to Daz, but it's going to be tough for Lee to forget about the mistakes he's made in this set.
Great performance from Daz Cheetham, 5-1, the set win with about 90 seconds remaining on the set clock. An excellent start from Daz. He goes 1-0 up in the Shootout Showdown. Second set is on the way, and it's next. Welcome back to the Shootout Showdown here on Free Sports. Paul, on your screens this Monday evening. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb with you tonight. Simon, a big start for Daz Cheetham in set number 1, a 5-1 victory in set 1. Lee Killen's got to hit the reset button here and has to forget all about that if he's got a chance to walk away with that £3,000.
Well, the beauty of set play means that he can do that. Whether he will be able to do that or not is time will tell. It's very hard to do, considering how far below his level he played in that set. He's normally a far better player than that. The chances he had, especially early in the set, that he wasn't able to take, he'll be very annoyed with. I expected to see more from him in that set. Hopefully he can, if he can win the opening frame, maybe get himself going, especially if he can win it in one visit, and he has an opportunity to do so here.
It's not the Lee Killen that we become used to seeing, or that we've seen before. Daz has played well. He's taking his chances.
He's done what he's needed to do. He's mopped up from the mistakes.
But make no mistake, the first set was one Lee Killen lost it as much as Daz Cheetham won it.
Absolutely, I think Daz allowed him, once he got himself in front, first couple of frames both players made the mistakes, but Daz came out on top with. But once he got himself 2 frames ahead, he allowed Lee to then make the mistakes, and then he stepped in and punished him. Sometimes you just don't take on a 50-50 finish. Play a safety and if your opponent's struggling and they want to go for it, let them go for it and then mop up. It's a lot easier to clear the table when your opponent's only got 1 ball on the table than having 6 or 7.
Did it play into your mind much when you're consciously aware that your opponent's playing poorly?
Yeah, I think so. You've got to not let it affect you, as in you've got to concentrate. And in some strange ways, it almost puts a bit more pressure on you. That this is where you have to capitalise on it.
Well, Lee Killen needs to capitalise on this. Played the yellows beautifully. This for 1-0 in set 2. Oh, he's missed that by a way. Is he going to fluke it? He may well have done, The
disappointing thing, Lee's queued so far across that, he's missed it by a long way. The disappointing thing for Lee there is 3 balls out, he was perfect, and he should have ended up straight behind that black in a position where it was almost unmissable. And the way the match has gone so far, you didn't fancy him to make that black, because he's not got going yet at all.
And it is such a momentum sport. It really is. So often you see it. You start struggling, it's difficult to arrest that slide.
Time out, please.
Especially in this format.
Yeah.
We've seen this in every Shootout Showdown we've done. The players, when they have not got off to a good start, they've not been able to recover from it.
Total snip.
Should be an easy hit off 1 cushion.
Decent go at the cocktail pot. She was looking at there into the top left. Didn't quite get it right, but it's telling that was about as close as the actual pot was for the shot.
If not closer, yeah, it's disappointing from that regard for him. Now, will Daz take this on? If he leaves the red above the right centre pocket for his last ball and lands nicely on it, you'd expect him to make it, but it would be pressure on it, because if you miss it, you are going to lose the frame, and you don't. This is the beginning. He's not 4-1 up here. This is 0-0. So do not want to let your opponent off the hook after the mistakes made in this frame.
Oh, that's not ideal, but it could have been worse. That to keep travelling, it doesn't.
Sort of potted himself into a bit of a problem here. It's a big shot, possibly a double, but I think the cut would be my choice.
This is tough. Oh, that's close. It doesn't go. Now then, Lee.
This is huge for Lee. This really is. If he misses this, then it's going to struggle to see him getting back in this match.
1-0, Lee Killen.
Frame.
Boy, did he need that. Boy, did he need that.
He really did. And it's come off a mistake from Daz as well, which will help him, even though he would have preferred to make the clearance, make the breaking dish off his own side. The fact that, he's punished a Daz mistake now, and he's ahead in a set. It could be huge.
I see there the stats. Lee's actually breaking fantastically well. He's potted on every single break that he's had. His issue is coming with open play, 8 missed pots. It's not counting positional errors as well.
Time running.
He's struggling.
It's just too many for a set and a frame of Paul for a player of Lee's ability. He had enough chances to win that opening set and he lost it 5-1.
Well, Daz has come up dry off the break again. And I think again he'll be wondering why. There's a lot of balls on the move there. White being tied to this bottom cushion gives him some sort of hope. Not when the red's that close. But has Lee just overrun that a touch? I think he has.
He's on the red to the top left, but that's it. Tough pot. Position shouldn't be too much of a problem. You just don't fancy him making anything that's half difficult at the moment. And there, the other thing with the shot that he's just played, he's just flicked that yellow over. Oh, I was just about to say the yellow that Daz has just missed was knocked over the middle pocket, making his chance of the clearance nice and, I wouldn't say routine or easy, but certainly it put the clearance on, but he misses that first ball.
He sure did.
I think that was a full-blooded attempt at the plant from Lee, because it would be an odd way to play safe. Nice shot.
Yeah, played that really nicely. Does come up with some lovely shots at times.
He's made less mistakes and he's made the big shots when he's needed to. The shot to win the opening frame of the match was huge, and a couple of nice clearances or counter clearances have been enough for him to get this lead. Got to make a decision when he wants to go up for the yellow that's just above the centre pockets. I know it seems easy, it's in the open, but you want to finish high on it so that you can just drift down for the black or one of the other yellows. He has gone up for it and he has finished low on it, so now white is now going up the table rather than onto the yellow, but I think he's maybe straight enough that he could just drop this in. I think he's going to use the top cushion. Decides to drop it in.
Clearances like this Daz is making, and that's really the big difference.
Frame.
It really is the big difference, where you don't really fancy Lee on anything that's above like a 6 out of 10 tariff clearance. It's tough to see Daz missing those. There were some shots there that Daz potted which Lee's been missing, and they're pots that Lee would usually make, of course, but Daz just been the cleaner player so far.
Absolutely. The only thing I could really fault Daz for is just maybe a couple of his choices of patterns and the way he's gone. He could have gone a slightly different way, or just decided to play position rather than playing the cannon, but you can't fault the way he's made the counter clearances. He's mopped up when he's had to, punishing the mistakes made from Lee, and he just has to sit back and wait for them.
Yeah, he certainly does. Lee's break has been the one bright spot, really. He's not made a mistake at all on the break, but just as I say that, is he going to break dry? Yes, he is. Doesn't rain, it pours in pool. Had to have a dry one eventually.
It might not be the worst thing for Lee if Daz doesn't make the finish. Now I know that sounds a bit strange because we often talk about the first chance and the player making the clearance, and and this is actually a really good opportunity for Daz. But you feel an important visit to the table, because if Daz doesn't, then it will be Lee with the opportunity for the counter clearance, or in the position to punish the mistake and get himself back in front in the set. So important for Daz to make this first visit finish.
Hey, that's easy. That's harder to say than you thought.
Yeah, I shouldn't have gone that way.
Your patterns weren't quite up to scratch there. Daz is our mind.
Yeah, he's worked this out lovely. First 3-4 balls just have left him in the perfect position to mop these up. Only thing he really has to guard against from here is, I think he's going to play on the one on the bottom cushion next. Just don't leave yourself straight. He might come back and go the other way. He is going down the table. Made sure he didn't leave himself straight.
Slightly awkward cueing, but he's got such a strong cue action, hasn't he, Daz, that he never looked like he was going to be in trouble there. Rock solid bridge. And he's away, 2-1. And that's a reverse dish for Daz Cheetham, who is now 3 frames away from £3,000.
Yeah, I'll be pleased with that. I said that was an important visit to the table because it was the first time that Daz had a first visit chance for a little while, and it was Lee that was having those chances and he wasn't making them, and he was being picked off by Daz. So it was important that when Daz does get that first chance, he makes it, to make sure that he continues to dominate the match. One thing that hasn't worked for Daz tonight has been his break. Pretty poor strike rate with it so far. Ooh, black on the move, but not this time.
He's almost there. To use that horrifically tired football cliche, hit them too well. He's tried to hit that, take the skin off the cue ball there. Ended up jumping it and not really getting the explosion that he was after.
Well, I think he hit his first break of the night, the best of any of them, and it's almost felt like his breaks got worse, break after break after break. Like he's trying to hit them so hard that maybe he's just losing a little bit of control on the break.
Well, Lee Killen cued that first shot in beautifully.
Still a problem to that bottom left. Yeah, I don't blame him for this at all. The clearance really wasn't on. If he takes the clearance on and gets 4 or 5 balls into it, which he could from there, and doesn't make the clearance, he's just going to go 3-1 behind. So no point pushing the boat out. Plenty of time left in this set, and he's only 1 behind. Daz did not want to make that plant.
Definitely didn't want that one to drop either, and it doesn't. That one stays up.
The red next to the black will pop for Lee, so he just needs to try and develop his balls in the bottom left-hand corner, and he's got 1 out. He's got 1 more to go. Is Daz going to screw across and try and play the skill shot? Yes, he is, but he's missed it by a long way. put Daz in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, hasn't it just?
I'm sure if he was trying to flick the black there or making sure he avoided it or not, but he sort of, his reaction,
Yeah.
maybe question he was closer, or he was, as he, he was either closer than he thought he was going to be, or he was just off what he wanted to be.
Halfway point of the second set. That noise there indicating that. So every time the frame is finished, the clock will be stopped for the re-rack. It's the only thing that changes at the halfway point.
Okay, this may be the time for Lee. He's got one red that's still a problem. He's got a red near it though. Red nearest the bottom left-hand corner. Isn't the worst ball to try and develop the ball just above it. The rest are all open. It's not ideal. He would have loved that yellow just to go a few more inches so that he could play the red to the middle and just cannon the bad ball out. I think he's guaranteed to cannon into the yellow now. Yeah, he is. He's having a look to see whether the plant's on. This is a very tough plant.
Yeah, it's going to be some shot.
And the problem with the plant is he's not guaranteed to finish on the next ball. I don't like the plant, if I'm honest.
Neither does Lee.
I am surprised he hasn't continued to go for the finish though. Still think that was his opportunity to win the frame. Make the one over the next to the black, leave yourself on the one to the bottom left, and either play position on the one that's a problem to the top of the table, or play some sort of cannon. I guess time will tell whether that is as good a chance as he'll get. But you can see with that shot that Daz has played, it's not got any easier for Lee at all.
Yeah, 5 yellows still on the table versus 3 reds, all of which are by 1 or 2 pockets. It is difficult for Lee to have anything to work with here.
Daz will just try and get this yellow in the pocket, block it off for the 2 reds. Oh, he hasn't done that. Oh, he's gone far enough in, I think. Just for a second I thought he'd left the gap. I think the yellow is far enough in that this red probably doesn't go.
We're about to find out, I think. Yeah, it didn't. Pocket taken back.
He's got a pretty routine safety shot here for Daz if he wants it. Yeah, I thought he might play off that yellow and try and get the white behind the yellow at the top of the table. It was a big target, but also if he didn't get behind it, he was still in pretty good shape. But you can't argue with the shot he's played. Blocking off that bottom right hand red is huge advantage for him.
He went for a kind of skill shot to open up both pockets there. Nearly got it. Needed to contact the black 4 in the face, and as it is, he can play a little fiddly shot with the red in the jaw and force Daz to play out from the pocket.
But as you can see, the chances haven't got any better for Lee when he didn't take on the finish a few visits ago. And it's tough to see. Can he take this on? Can he see the red to pot it through the gap? If he can, getting back out onto the next red could be tough. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. That's a bad mistake from Daz. Should never have left that gap on. There was only about a ball's width there. So Lee has been rewarded for being patient and not going for the finish earlier.
Well, there's your reward, 2-2. Lee Killen, the big frame to win there. 2-2, and it's lax error that from Daz, because it let Lee right back in when it looked like he was really under the thumb.
With 5 yellows on the table and 2 reds, and there being barely a gap to get into that yellow, I think Daz will feel like he should have won that frame, and it's one that's got away when he's already 2-1 ahead.
Next week on the Shootout Showdown, it is a ladies' night. Deb Birchall takes on Kay Griffiths for £1,000. Same time, same place next week. Followed by Danielle Randall. This is Vicky Lomax, also for 1,000 Griffins. Well then, Lee has come up dry here. Last couple of breaks haven't gone his way. And Daz straight in, smelling blood in the water. It's tough queuing. And this might open it up for Lee.
Big moments, 9 minutes 52 on the match, or the set clock. Chance for Lee to get back in front. That red next to the black is the hardest on the table, and it's not particularly difficult to land on. All the other reds have a pocket. Possibly the one in the triangle area. Don't know whether that goes to the bottom right. If it doesn't, then he'll have to land on it into the left centre, but there's room, so this is a good chance. This is a really good chance for Lee.
Remember, if Lee were to win this set, it would take us to 1-1, and we will have a single frame shootout decider. If it was to end up tied, Daz would get the win by virtue of him winning the opening set.
Oh, he just squeezes by. If he's on this red past the black, then, well, even if he is, it's still not ideal. He wanted more angle to get back out. Well, that helped a lot. Still, even though that's gone in and he's on the next red, you haven't felt like he's got hold of the white in this visit. It's almost like he's reacting to where the white finishes rather than picking a pattern and working his way through it. And even now, he's not ideal. And now it's going to get very tough. He's on this red to the centre pocket, but landing on the last red past the black, or next to the black, is going to be very difficult. Has to come on and off the bottom cushion, pick a gap between the yellow and the black. Well, he's decided to go the safer way, which is to make sure you go up the right-hand side of the table. The problem with that is this red is now really tough and can't avoid the cannon on the black.
Oh, tell you what though.
Oh, he's been rewarded.
He has indeed. 3-2, massive couple of shots that from Lee Killen. Massive, massive couple of shots. That was brilliant. And sometimes you earn your luck. It was a great pot down the rail. He's had plenty of bad luck in this game already, don't you worry about that.
Absolutely, and it wasn't the pattern he picked at the start. I think he'll be honest enough to say that, but he was able to hang in the visit and actually see it through, and he came up with that big shot at the end, which is something he wasn't able to do earlier on in the match, in that first set when he had this, similar level of chances. First time in this match that Daz has really been under any sort of pressure.
Time running.
I mean, you talk about Daz being under pressure a little bit. That's one way to respond. He'd gone to the cut break and has launched it.
I think that's a good decision, because he was really launching back for more and more power, and when you go to the cut break, it's more about timing, and you're able just to reset and time one, and this is what you get. A really nice split, one ball to work out, which he's done nicely. That shot's tricky whichever way he goes. He cuts back the one he's nearest to the bottom corner pocket. It's slightly blind and has to control the white. If he takes the one to the top end of the table, then the reds are a problem. It's not too bad at all. Choice of all 3 yellows. I would imagine it's going to be one of the 2 to the bottom left.
Oh
dear.
no. That's a surprise.
It's a big surprise. Just when I was thinking, I couldn't see him making a mistake from where he was, because he's straight in here and the rest of the finish is fairly routine. I thought, what a good response. So I think that's probably the worst mistake that Daz has made in this match. And that's a lovely shot from Lee. He would have expected, coming to the table after that miss from Daz, to have an easy opportunity, and he didn't have it.
Oh, all aboard the showboat.
Wow. I still think Lee played the right choice of shot. It's just Daz has come up with a big shot, and that could well win him this frame and get us back all square.
He played the percentage shot. We say it quite a lot in pool. A lot of players do it. But sometimes the percentages, whilst they look in your favour, the nature of this game means it sometimes goes against you. Daz Cheetham pulls out a big one. Is he going to square things up? Yeah, he is. You bet you. And now with almost exactly, in fact exactly 5 minutes left, it's all square. It could be a decider. We could have time for 2. This is all to play for, Simon. Who do you make the favourite at this juncture, because the momentum is swinging all over the place?
I think you still have to make Daz the favourite. He's got the first set on the board, so it's hard to not have him as favourite. But that shot there, when he's potted that ball from a snooker, when Lee laid the snooker, he thought, okay, I'm going 4-2 up here. He wasn't worried about that, about Daz making the shot from the cushion there, and he's thinking, I'm going to get a chance to go 4-2, and then I've got this set in the bag. Now he's got to really scrap and fight just to get himself into a tie-break frame, which is going to be tough to do.
He sure does, but he has done that really well so far in this second set. He's clawed his way back into this match, having looked like a no-hoper in that first set. He was miles off the pace. He's back in it now. His break has deserted him a touch in his last couple of efforts. This would be a good time now, if you're a Lee Killen fan, to see him pot one off the break.
Oh,
would you believe it?
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it in a hurry.
Well, the irony of that, Simon, it's the worst break he's hit all night. It is the worst break he's hit all night. And the black's knocked in.
The black didn't move, did it? Red flies around the table. Wow. And as you say, that was the worst break he's hit all night long, and the black flies in. So I guess if he felt at all hard done by the shot that Daz came up with in the previous frame to steal it away from him, then you get it back here. Watch this, Red.
Well, with interest.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That is incredible, and that is the beauty of Shootout pool. 12 seconds taken off that 5 minutes. We've now got 4 minutes and 48 left. Daz Cheetham 4-3 down. Didn't connect at all well with that one, but he has a ball. He has a ball. So he's at the table.
Just doesn't catch this break anywhere near as well as his previous one.
Which by rules in this match mean the black should have gone in, right?
Well, yeah. Nothing moved in the triangle area at all. It's a big cluster down there.
He's going reds, and it's going to take some precision.
Yeah, I was just looking at that little cluster of 3 reds at the bottom. They look awkward, but I think the middle one of those 3 goes to the bottom left. I think there is enough room through the gap. Well, he's played to cannon into them now, and maybe it didn't go. Maybe I'm being harsh in saying if that went, then maybe there was a more controlled way to do that. What he has done though, he's nudged on one ball. Another ball has gone a bit awkward.
Well, bottom left now goes. This is what he's taking on now. And that must mean the one to the bottom right goes as well. One next to black is his next problem. Does that sneak into the centre pocket?
I think the red does sneak into the centre pocket. I don't know whether he can get to the potting angle of this red. He might have to play it off the yellow. Can he get to the potting angle? No, he could. Okay, so that shot into the little cluster was brilliant. Opened everything up with one shot. I was being slightly critical, saying that maybe there was more precision about, and he played it as precisely as you needed to.
It's a hyper-aggressive attacking shot, and it's come off. There's been some response. I think he's all right there. I'm not sure if he can see all of the red, but he shouldn't need to really. Just needs to leave himself pretty good cueing on the back, and he'll back himself to make it. Less than 3 minutes remain. Oh, cues it beautifully, could see all of it.
Lovely, what a response.
Fantastic response. We're going to have about 2.5 minutes, and we're going to have a frame decider. (4-4). One frame left to play, 2.5 minutes with which to play it. The winner of which may walk away £3,000 richer. That's if Daz Cheetham wins. If Lee wins this frame, he forces another final frame decider. This is next week's lineup: Deb Birchall versus Kerry Griffiths, Danielle Randall versus Vicky Lomax. Ladies' night in the Shootout Showdown next Monday.
It's a strange game, isn't it? Probably the two worst breaks we've seen tonight have resulted in a golden break and the only break and dish of the night.
Remarkable, actually.
Yeah.
Well, Lee has the break, which is big. Because naturally, if he pots the black again, he takes us to a decider, but he won't bank on that. Again, it's not the greatest hit. Will want a ball. Is he going to get one? No. So then, Daz Cheetham, here's your chance. 2 minutes and 16 seconds and ticking. Can he find a counter clearance to win £3,000?
Of course, he doesn't need to. If you're in Daz's position, 1.5 half is more than enough to win the £3,000. So he just needs to pot the open balls, use up as much of the clock as he possibly can. Won't make a difference to him whether he makes the clearance or not. Although, having said that, the clearance is on. Although he has, as good a cueing as that was to pot that yellow, he hasn't landed on the next ball. He's almost cued that too well, and the white's travelled a good 6 inches further than he really wanted it to.
Yeah, this now is no longer a guarantee. Needs to make this. It's probably going to be a double plant, I think. Shot, really good shot. Might need another one. Lee looking at the table, looking at the clock, thinking maybe.
One thing's for sure, he's going to use the full 20 seconds on this shot, whatever he does.
I think it's another plant, is it? And they could just see the potting angle.
Okay, he hasn't landed on the next ball, so Lee may get to the table, may not have more than 30 seconds, which is going to be odds against, that's for sure.
Hope he brought his trainers with him. And you're running round. Oh, it's a hell of a shot.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
That should win in the match.
It should. That's just going to waste another 15 to 20 seconds. So that 30 seconds I was talking about is now going to be 20.
That's a great shot from Daz. That was no gimme at all. He's been the coolest man in the place.
Oh, that's the frame. That is the match. And he knows it. He can relax.
Remarkably relaxed man, isn't he? Absolutely no worries in the world. He's more than happy to let this roll down.
Right.
And a shake of the hands, it's a concession from Lee Killen. And Daz Cheetham has won our first Shootout Showdown match tonight. He's £3,000 richer. A great performance from Daz. 2-0 the final score. He wins the Shootout Showdown. Part 1, Part 2 is next. Welcome back to the Shootout Showdown. Stephen Jameson, Simon Webb, still with you here on this Monday evening, and we have our first winner of the night. A big congratulations to Daz Cheetham, who joins us now live from upstairs here in the West Midlands. Daz, first of all, big congratulations, mate. A great win for you, 3,000 quid richer. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Playing well. Quite solid. Surprise, really. I missed so little with time clock. It goes faster than you think.
Congratulations, Daz. I thought it was a really solid performance. You punished the mistakes that Lee made. But I want to ask you about that break dish you made following the golden break. To me, that summed up you in the match, really. That was probably the most pressure you're under in the whole match, and you came up with the goods.
Yeah, I had to, really, didn't I? Because it were time were running out. I know if I got to a draw, the last one, as long as he didn't break and dish, I'd got plenty of time to run clock down if there were a ball on. So a lot of pressure. I played a really good shot on from top at table. I stunned down and split back open. That were decisive one, really, because they were all tied up there. But yeah, I'm really happy how I played.
Yeah, it seemed to be that you were very aware of the shot clock and the set clock. It had been something you'd practiced with before to get used to it. You seem to manage it very well.
No, I've never played with shot clock, but before I've come down, I've been practicing with one of the lads, just playing them half an hour sets and playing pretty quick, really, and not taking your time. So you've got to play shots really quick, so it helps really sometimes, because what you see you play, don't you? Your first instinct usually at best, so it worked out that way tonight, unfortunately.
Well, it certainly did for you tonight, mate. A big congratulations, our Shootout Showdown winner, Daz Cheetham.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers, Daz. Thank you very much. Well, that's a great win for Daz, and very sort of almost humble in his victory there. Quietly spoken lad. It started terribly for him. Let's not forget, it was that horrible miscue very, very early on. But this was the moment that I think he started to take over. That brilliant yellow to open up the match. But the story of the first set was one of Lee Killen's mistakes, and Daz really taking advantage. But the second set was much better fare from, I think, both players actually.
Yeah, I think Daz was fairly consistent all the way through. He did what he had to in the first set. He didn't need to take on too much. He made that couple of big shots that won him a couple of early frames, and then from that point onwards, he just had to mop up the mistakes from Lee, which were plenty. In the second set, it was much more even, but Daz came up with, well, this is a huge shot there to tie the scores up, and then to respond with a break dish the way he did after this golden break showed everything there is to know about Daz in terms of the way he was able to handle the pressure, and a fully deserved winner. Played the best pool of the two players by quite a long way, and deserved to walk away with the money.
Well, a great game there for us. A great game in prospect as well. Gaz Higgins takes on John Sullivan for £3,500. Simon caught up with them both earlier.
John, what is it about money matches that appeals to you over tournaments?
Oh, it's the buzz. For me, especially, gets the heart pumping. It's one of the best things. Tournament play just hasn't got it for me. Just the money.
Prefer the longer race, and you can have a bit of a slip up during the match, and you know you're still in the match. You've still got plenty of time to claw it back.
Does the size of the pot make a difference to the pressure you feel?
Yeah, and the people backing you. The more people, the more money, the more people back you. You don't want to let them down, and it's special. I'll be honest with you.
No, I don't feel like it does, but not in the past anyway. So.
No crowd tonight, which is really unusual for money matches.
Yeah, I like a crowd. Play better with a crowd. Just hope, I can bring my best. I haven't really practiced. Got to be honest. I picked up a cue this week, first time since about Christmas. Done a couple of hours, so I feel good.
The crowd won't really bother me, because when there is a crowd, I tend to zone out and don't really take much notice of who's there, to be honest. But the TV I've played on a couple of times, but we'll see how it goes.
Thoughts on your opponent?
I don't really know a lot about Gaz. I've been told good things about him, but I can beat anyone. I beat pretty much every player in the game, so it's all about how I play, I think.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Good player, very good player. He's beat a lot of decent players for cash in the past, and I know I'm up against it, but I'm up for the challenge. So.
Wish you the best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, he's up for the challenge, is Gaz Higgins, which is absolutely what we love to hear. John Sullivan, a very confident man. He's quite a well-known player in the money match world, so a man who's taken on all comers across so many different matches, and this is a bit of a different experience for him.
Yeah, he's played probably as many matches in this environment, or money matches, as anybody else in the world. But probably the first time he's played in this environment, in terms of no crowd and being a lockdown and the shot clock and the set play and everything else. One thing that came across from the interviews for me is the fact that both players are very different personalities. John Sullivan is a very confident man. He said that in his interview. He said, I can beat anyone in the world. I have beaten everyone else in the world. Gaz Higgins, he may not be as, up front with it as John is, but quietly he is very confident in his own ability. He's got enough confidence in his own ability that he can beat anyone in the world, and he is really up for this match as well. Yeah,
quite right too. It's what we like to hear. Two players who reckon they can win, which is absolutely what it's all about. John Sullivan will have the first break when we come back. Welcome back to Shootout Showdown. Paul here on Free Sports this Monday night. We've already had one fantastic game for your entertainment this evening. We've got a second one. John Sullivan takes on Gaz Higgins for £3,500. John Sullivan is the man to break. A player who's very familiar on the circuit in this type of game, and he's off to a flyer. He's got a ball in off the break. Cued, there's a dream, Simon. Let's have a look at this cue ball straight back up, which is a sign of a pretty good connection.
Absolutely hammered them, didn't he? Great connection and a great opening opportunity. Said in his interview that he's not played since Christmas. A couple of hours practice this week is all he's done, which is, if that's true, is not the greatest preparation. I often wonder when players tell me that, whether they've actually played a little bit more than they're letting on, but I think with John, he probably is true.
Oh, well, on that evidence, it could well be. That's a loosener from John. Now, my favourite thing about Gaz Higgins, and this is absolutely indisputable, is the Dennis Taylor glasses. We've got to have a mensch. Simply lovely. A lovely pair of black rims on for his interview, but when the cue's down, gets the Dennis Taylor ones out.
Just a foul there from John, called it on himself.
Time out, please.
Very quick to do so. Must have just flipped the yellow when potting this. Well, it looked fine from our replay. Maybe he touched another ball, I'm not sure. Slightly strange one.
Yeah, possibly. Gaz is straight in here. And what I love is that he's a mix of the old school and the new school. He's got the new school modern device with the fingerless glove for a smooth cueing action. And he's got a throwback to the good old days of the 70s and the Dennis Taylor glasses. All in on this.
Let's have a quick look at this foul and then we can go back to the glasses. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think maybe what he's calling himself for there is for almost double hitting the white. Like he was trying to play it slowly and sort of semi-pushed it or double hit the white, rather than I thought originally he probably flicked the yellow on the way through, but that wasn't the case. Couldn't quite tell on the replay, but I suspect that's what it was for.
You've got to give a lot of respect for that. It's excellent sportsmanship, because it's taking a look at it through a couple of replays, we've not been able to spot it. So fair play, John Sullivan. First frame of a big match, calling that on yourself. Gaz Higgins has taken advantage, as he is wont to do. And this is a great settler down for Gaz. He's away 1-0. Good clearance from Higgins.
Yeah, excellent start from Gaz. Earned himself the foul and mopped him up very simply. Looks to be cueing nicely.
I'm surprised actually. So just taking a look at the foul here.
Yeah, you can see it there on this replay now that I was looking for it, that he sort of almost jabbed at it and then followed through with the cue, and he's caught the white twice. Whether Donna had spotted that or not, I don't know, but what we do know is that John was very, very quick to call it on himself before Donna had the opportunity to call it. And fair play to him for that. But it will cost him a frame.
Oh, where's the black? Ooh, I tell you what. Gad's going to come up dry. He very nearly came up 2 frames up. Watch this black ball nearly get kicked in. He's been pretty close, I think. Going straight amongst the balls. He's overcued that. Oh dear. Right smile. Oh dear, we are in trouble. It's about as good as he could have played. If he'd have come up behind the red there, he'd have been ecstatic. But he won't mind that. It's not bad.
Being total snookered, you can come off the 2 cushions and hide up behind that red and not have to hit a cushion after contact. So that's what he would have been trying to do.
Oh, shot. Yes, queuing well, sight.
Yeah, that's a great opening shot. We know how tough these middle pockets are, and from that angle to drop it in, excellent shot. And one good shot of the cushion now, and the frame's there for him.
Oh, I tell you what, it wiped its feet, but he's away. Gaz has started really, really well here.
As I said in the build-up to this match, he's very quietly spoken. We saw that on the interviews, but he's actually having a chat with him outside of the interviews. There's a real confidence in him. There's a real inner belief in his own game. Not afraid of any challenge, of any matches. Slightly out of position this time. Just tried to play that with a bit of check side, and it sort of got away from him. He's a good few inches further up the table than he wanted to be.
Oh, how's your queuing there?
It's a lovely recovery. Whether this yellow still passes the black. He's come around to have a bit of a look. It's tight. It's not a problem if it doesn't. It just has to go top left, bottom left.
This has been a heck of a start. One good shot away from being 2-0 up. Ah, make it look easy. Beautifully done, Daz Higgins. What a start this is from him. 2-0 in no time at all. 2 excellent clearances as well. That one in particular, very impressive. If you're just joining us, this is the rules of the game. Black ball rules on the table. Ball must hit cushion after contact. A foul introduces a shot and a visit. Skill shots are allowed, where you can pot your own ball as well as an opponent's. Golden break with a black off the break will win the frame. Golden duck, black and a white, loses you the frame. We are playing 2 shootout sets of half an hour or a race to 5, whichever one comes first. It's 1-1 after 2. Go to a decider. Well, John's looked rusty, I think that's fair to say. So whenever he's been in open table, my goodness me, the 2 breaks he's hit have been as clean as a whistle.
Absolutely, he's hit the break really well. He's just got himself into trouble quickly both times, both chances he's had. And whilst, you know, early in the match, especially when you've not been playing much, that can happen. This is a big shot as he makes this one down the rail. Nice shot. I was just going to say, you know, in normal circumstances, you think, okay, it's rusty start, but I've got time to recover. This is a short format. And the other thing I would say with John is we have seen him on Free Sports once before. He played in a shootout in Doncaster, and he didn't do himself justice. He lost 5-1 very quickly. And he doesn't want to sort of remember that as he's, you know, gets off to a bad start here.
Well, you'd have never known he'd have started off as he has. That is a fantastic break and dish from John Sullivan. Really, really impressive. And I must say so, the standard has jumped up quite a considerable leap after our opening games. We take a look at Gunzer Gareth Higgins from Crewe. 30 years of age. He's a Welsh national player. He's a pretty prolific money match player as well. You can see there a good record of matches. He's a Liverpool fan. Steven Gerrard's his hero. He's had a pretty good lockdown, all things being said, with the football. In terms of the pool, good record with the Welsh national team.
Time running.
Yeah, very proud of his record with Wales, similar to Lee in the previous match. You know, it's an incredible achievement to make it into that Welsh A team, let alone win titles.
That, yeah, it's not a bad Welsh team, really, is it?
It's a phenomenal Welsh team. So to force your way in is a great effort.
Considering the size of Wales and how many people live there, it is remarkable how many elite players they have in their ranks. And seen the foul there. Gaz Donna was very hot on him straight away.
He was quick to call on himself as well. Donna was straight on it, but he was already raising his hand. So both players showing good sportsmanship early in this match. Yeah, clear foul from the replay.
For those who didn't see it, Simon?
He played a push shot. You know, whether it's a double hit as well, you can't play a push shot. So cue, object ball and cue tip are all in contact at the same time. You just can't do that.
It's very difficult not to do that with the position he found himself in, with the ball so close to each other.
Yeah, it's why he raised the butt of the cue. He's trying to jab down on it from a height so that he's not the tip isn't on the white for very long, rather than cueing normally where the tip of the cue would stay on the ball longer. But he knew straight away. You can feel it. You can feel it more than you can see it, actually. But that one was obvious to see as well. But,
John Sullivan's into his work here, and I love how he plays. Almost like his semi-namesake in the snooker world. Rapid fire around the table, doesn't mess about. Quick chalk of the cue, down he goes. Lovely fluid cue action. Cheers, 2-2, see you later. This is a great game.
It's impressive, wasn't it? Wow.
The soul man, John Sullivan. Hundreds of money matches down the years. Money match record is on there from the ones that he can really remember. But he has been in the game a long, long time. Big Spurs fan, which you might have picked up from his interview. Sounds like a Spurs fan. From Edmonton in North London. But that was a really rapid clearance there in next to no time, barely a minute in it. Which, when he's not necessarily on the clock with 18 minutes still to play, wasn't hanging about. It's another brilliant break, and he is unlucky there, because look how many balls are north of the halfway point in the table. For him not to pot one is astounding, really. Look at all that.
That's a great break again, isn't it? He's hitting that break really well, and as you quite rightly say, those two finishes were so quick and so just brilliant to watch, to do it that quickly and that confidently. Going back to his bio that we just showed, the one thing that stands out for me looking at that bio, other than the hundreds of money matches he's played, is the fact that he doesn't own a cue at the moment, which is quite incredible for a pool player not to own a pool cue.
Well, he's not playing with one of the local ones, I assume.
I think he's borrowing a cue off a friend. I think he either broke or he decided to change cue just before lockdown, and he said that the order went from being a few months to being a long time, and he's still waiting for it. And he could be without a cue for some time.
Well, here's one for you, Simon. As a man who's played multiple professional tournaments and been a very, very good pool player in your lifetime, it's a part of your arm almost, isn't it? Your cue. How strange is it to be using someone else's on such a big stage? £3.5 grand on the line here.
Yeah.
Does it make that much difference, or is it relatively?
Oh, it makes a huge difference, and the fact that he's not practiced with it, I'm sure the couple of hours he has put on the practice table would have been with this cue. But yeah, if you're not using your own cue, it takes a while to get used to it. Although I would say that the cues nowadays are getting more and more once you can order what you want, and yeah, okay, it still takes a bit of time to get the feel for it and everything else, but not as long as it used to be. And the same thing when it comes to new tips as well. They don't take as long to get used to as it used to. But I find it staggering that somebody could play in this environment for this amount of money without their own cue, or without a cue they've been practicing with for a long time.
Yeah, his last shot there, John, he just tried to open things up. But didn't miss the shot there. He was planning on taking the pocket. Gaz, in response, tried to pop that yellow off the red into the middle. Just starting to open up here. I don't think either player is far off going for their clearance. And John might do now.
John's got one bad ball. And he's gone after it, and he's opened it up. He'll take it on now to the bottom right corner. If this goes in, they're all there for him.
Surprising miss that, actually. With the cue ball so close to object ball, backed him to make that.
I thought after the two finishes he's just made, he's now up and running. The ones he missed in the first frame, or the pot he missed in the first frame, I'm not surprised at. You know, it's slightly, early in the match, rusty, but having made back-to-back really good finishes, I thought he would make that and then go on and make the clearance.
Yeah. He clearly seems to be a former touch player. He really feels the rhythm of it and gets into the swing of things.
I think this yellow will go off the one that's in the bulk area. I think it will go off the top jaw onto the red and then into the pocket. He may look to move the one next to it, or he may, if he's sliding by it, it's fine. Oh, he has tried to move it, but he's missed the pot.
John not hanging about.
Oh, he's missed that by a long way. And talking about his cue, that's the sort of shot, if you are going to have some problems with the fact that you're using a new cue or somebody else's cue, because you don't own a cue, as is John's situation, he played that shot with quite a lot of right hand side just to straighten the white up at the bottom of the table, and you haven't got used to how much the white's going to throw out and everything else. So that's certainly a shot that could well be down to the cue.
Both players making mistakes. Another one from Gaz there. Another miss. Well, it's been such a high standard across the first four frames. It's just tailed off in this one. It's made for a fast. It's a big frame for this to win for either player. Touching ball for Daz Higgins there, so he elects to just play John's red safe, which gives him a big problem.
That was a good shot.
But it's clear to see what mood John Sullivan's turned up in. He's not going to want to hang about if he can avoid it.
Well, he's played the same sort of shot that Gaz just played. He's played the red into the yellow to knock the yellow safe. The other yellows at bay as well. So that was a nice shot. Now John has the chance to develop this red and look to try and get the white down to the bottom right hand part of the table once again. Oh, he's found the gap beautifully. That was a nice shot. Bit of a nothing shot, the shot before from Gaz in the end. He needed to do more with that last shot. Just made it too easy for John to put him in trouble.
Total snooker call, doesn't have to hit a cushion after contact.
So one ball is a problem for John. Will he decide to go for the finish? That ball will double. Red just above the centre pocket. No, he did not take that pot on. That was just a safety effort.
Having a look here, I think at a 4-ball plan.
I did wonder whether he'd left that on, but I don't think Gaz could see enough of the yellow to play the shot. It was just too thin on it. John's going to continue to play safe. He's tied the red up just a fraction. I think he could still get to the potting angle, but it's not ideal. The thing is, from this situation, is that John keeps playing the same safety, getting to the bottom part of the table, but I don't see how he's going to earn an opportunity by playing that shot. So there's a bit of a stalemate situation.
I'm out, please. So just time running.
That's a better shot because he's getting a red in amongst those yellows, making it more likely to get a free shot. It's a good hit.
Doesn't want to take these on, does he? Or will he? Is now the moment? Oh, I tell you what.
He'll be pleased with that. Reds are edging themselves further and further in front here. Still, there's not a lot that Gareth could do there. And John may still wait another shot.
Oh, that's a canny little shot. That's come out beautifully. It's a really good response actually from Gaz. It's about all he could do. Again, John playing the waiting game, happy to wait for the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, he's been very patient here and he hasn't had that perfect opportunity. He's had a couple of times where he could have gone for it, needing to make a double. That double is now not on. With that little nudge.
Be careful crossing each other. Thank you.
John's considering trying to get this red out somehow, and I think it's worth the risk. But he's worried about if he does it, then maybe the yellows would be open, and apart from the one at the top of the table, but that would be on for a skill shot. So deciding to stay patient. The problem is he's not really, even though he's being patient and he's waiting and he is a long way ahead in this tactical battle, it's very hard for him to earn an opportunity to go for a finish. Maybe this is his chance. No, still, I thought he might be able to take that to the top left and go into the little cluster of three. Well, there's a few things that he could do here. He could pop the red to the top corner and screw into the problem area. He could try and get the white into the bottom half of the table and almost play a three-ball plant up the right hand side, or he could screw into it that way.
We'll take that.
Yeah, he's a little bit lucky he didn't go in off actually, the way he played it. It hasn't come out particularly well for him.
Yeah, upon a second review, has he got an aggressive shot to play here? No, will be a safety. But now every ball's got a pocket, and Gaz has to find a way of stopping Sullivan taking the frame out in his next visit. What's he got? He needs to tie that red back up. He does so.
I think the problem with playing the tactical battle the way that John is, because all Gareth has been able to do in this tactical battle is just play defensive, just keep it tight, keep it tight, keep it tight, because he has had nothing to do. He's almost coming out snookers or playing dead shots every time. So John's had to be very patient, but playing that patient game, sometimes you don't get the chance you want. Sometimes you want it to be too easy, and sometimes you have to take a risk to try and win the frame.
Well, this is the moment. It has to be. See by the shot Gaz played with his last visit that was his acknowledgement that it had come to a head. Missed the adventurous double, and now these all have a home. He has been patient, John Sullivan. He's waited a long time to get this exact opportunity. Whew. He very almost saw it go to waste there. But cued in beautifully in the end, and that is 3-2. That was a long, long, long frame in the make. And this was a shot that may end up, in hindsight, winning in the frame. A beautiful, beautiful safety there.
Yeah, he had complete control of the whole safety battle. He was always ahead, and any time that Gareth tied something up, he was able to develop it, and he had to be super patient. The problem he had was, being that patient, it wasn't guaranteed to give him the opportunity, and at some point I felt he had to take a risk to try and make the clearance. But his patience paid off because he was able to get the chance he needed to, and a couple of good positional shots was all he needed to make sure of the clearance, and he gets himself in front from 2-0 behind.
Yeah, a player with more versatility than I originally gave him a little bit of credit for. It was a very patient and very reserved clearance in the end from John Sullivan. Thought he was very much here for a good time, not a long time really in that sense, but he showed he can stick it out as well with the best of them. And he's in again as Gaz breaks dry.
Colour's not assigned yet. Nothing for the players to go at. 5 minutes 30 on the clock.
Yeah, which based off the last frame is not a lot of time.
Yeah, and John's not the one that needs to make anything happen here. He can play what he thinks is the right shot. Doesn't need to try and force it because he has that frame lead. If he thinks the right shot's the clearance, then it's there, but it's Gareth with the first opportunity. That's a decent shot, opens everything up. Problem is, he hasn't landed on his next ball. I was just wondering whether the middle of those three reds went into the right centre. I don't think it does. So he's up against it here. Does this cut back? Maybe a back double. He's gone for the cut. Excellent shot. That's brilliant.
He used the yellow to hold his white as well. That's come out as good as it could for Gareth Higgins. And now it's a good chance to go and win the frame and tie things back up again. And when he's been amongst the balls, he's looked very, very comfortable. Both players have in truth, apart from a couple of early, we'll call them aberrations from John Sullivan.
Oh, he wanted that white to go up an extra, well, foot further up the table. That's a long way short of what he was trying to do. He's got that one a little bit wrong.
Nice tight cut back. Played it well. Is he going to be on the black? There's your answer. There is your answer.
The positional shot onto that last red was so surprising. He had quite a bit of margin for error. He got this one all wrong. It's a good pot to pot the red, but no control of the white because of it.
Hitting Chris. He left it over the pocket, and John Sullivan now, big chance to go and win this frame. Doesn't have to do it on his first visit to the table here. He has got total control. The double kiss wasn't the kindest really, but
I think he left his black on. That's a poor shot from John. That really is. That's probably the worst shot he's played in this set. He's trying to get the snooker on this black, but even if it's just a little swerve, he's left Gaz more of an opportunity than he wanted.
Gets away with it.
He's very lucky to get away with that, to be honest. It wasn't his best shot. Especially when you consider that he doesn't need to worry about trying to win the frame. He just wanted to tie things up, kill some time, kill a few seconds, and then potentially go for a finish. By the way, he's got away with it, and he will look for another safety. Well, if he's got away with this, he's been very fortunate.
I don't think he has. That was a bad one. And that's simple as you like. Where's that white ball? It's fine. It's fine. Never in doubt.
Two very strange shots from John. I thought he would find the safety shot. He had enough areas on the table where he could leave it safe. Both the first one was a lot easier safety shot than the second one, but the second one was it was tough, but I still expect he had enough areas to land safe.
Sullivan, a couple of mistakes slipping into his game. He's been a touch inconsistent, but I mean, that's to be expected with his playing record in the last 9 months or so. Not played a lot, but you can see there's been glimpses, more than glimpses, of his ability. A couple of lovely clearances.
Frame 7. John Sullivan to break.
Now,
3 frames all.
with a break
Time running.
and a chance with 2 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock to try and go and win the set. It's another hammer of a break. For someone who's barely been playing, he is hitting this break as good as anyone on this table has hit them over the last 2-3 months.
And he's earned himself an opportunity. I feel like he should have already won the set the way the last few frames have played out. He's got to go back to work. Oh, wow. Wow. That's a huge surprise.
1 free shot, 1 visit. Time running.
Well, Gaz, you got 90 seconds. What have you got?
Considering how well he did and how patient he was to go 3-2 ahead, 2 great finishes and then a very patient tactical battle to go 3-2 in front. The last 4 shots that John has played, other than his break, have been very surprising. I thought he was good. Once he got himself 3-2 in front and had that opportunity in the last, I thought that would be it. That would be 4-2 ahead. There would be no time left on the clock. So to not wrap up the set, I'm very surprised.
Yeah. I think surprising is one word you could use, a very kind word I'd say you could use as well, is those 4 shots have all been awful. He's just been so out of character from what he's shown he can do.
Yeah, the first 2 frames where he was a little bit rusty and he took a couple of frames to settle, that's understandable. But once he's got going, very strange. And it could well cost him this set. It's going to cost him a chance to win it. Whether it will cost him the set completely will come down to this next 2 shots.
Got
Gaz.
25 seconds. He's going to have a shot at the black, but this is difficult. Down the rail. Cues it like a dream. The black's not easy. The time's ticking. Oh, beautifully done, Gareth Higgins, with 5 seconds to spare. 4-3 up. Absolutely brilliant from Gareth Higgins. Superb work from the Welshman. Still 5 seconds to go in this set. We will have another break, I do believe. Welcome back to the Shootout Showdown here on Free Sports. A great game in the midst here between Gareth Higgins and John Sullivan. It's Gareth who's taken the first set. Second set now is upon us. A really entertaining first set, Simon, which went pretty close down to the wire as well. Great composure from Gareth to get over the line. Both players played really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Both players have played well. A couple of mistakes early from John, and then he looked like he'd settled really well and actually thought John was going to win the set. But a couple of very strange errors, a couple of mental errors, probably more than anything else from John, has probably cost him that opening set. But it has to be said, that clearance with about 45 seconds on the clock from Gaz was measured and taken out to perfection with complete control and calm. And a deserved, I guess, winner of that opening set on the balance of the play for the whole set.
John attacking red tip. He's opening up fairly well. Or has he? He's played the... that must be the safety there.
Well, it's no advantage playing the safety. I think he's just tried to pinch the pocket, play it thick, and he's got it wrong. It's a strange one, but I can't... There was just no advantage to not go for it.
It's a really bad miss.
It is. he's only got one. He would have only had one red to really work out. That one by the black, I don't think it goes in the centre pocket, but he had balls near enough by it to work it out. So, and if you were going to play safe, that's not how you would do it. So I think had to be a miss.
It's a real sloppy one.
Yeah, that's now 3 frames on the trot where there's been a very strange error from John. Having looked so good for the previous 3 frames before that. That's the bit I find most surprising.
Yeah, Gaz has been the model of consistency, really. We've seen flashes of what John Sullivan can do, and it's fantastic. We have seen lapses as well. Gaz is queuing beautifully, made some really good pots. Just needs to be able to make sure he sees this black. He's got enough angle. Should be okay. Just to avoid what happened in one of the last opportunities he had. He snooked himself on the black, doing all the hard work. No such occurrence this time around. 1-0 in set number 2. Really good match so far from both players. 5 missed pots is what stands out for John Sullivan. But in between that, as we keep mentioning, he's shown glimpses of some great stuff.
Yeah, the counter clearance to get his first frame on the board was excellent, and the breaking dish was incredibly good and quick fire. Probably the quickest breaking dish we've seen on this table, actually, and it looked great, going 3-2 up with some really solid tactical play, and then yeah, just I wouldn't say the wheels fell off. It was just some strange decisions from John, and he's now got to get back to work, get himself back going again. One thing you will say is that Gareth has been very consistent throughout, taking the majority of his chances, very few mistakes.
One thing that has been a bit of a difference maker for John is his break has been brilliant. It's twice now he's broken dry. That was probably the worst one he's hit, actually. He's tracking towards the top corner pocket, which is never the best sign. Gaz's break has been the one thing that you could say has let him down. He hasn't really created many chances from it. He's created a couple of stodgy frames as well, where he's not got the best split. But chances like this off a pretty well hit break like John's do come along.
He's overscrewed the white, and he's missed the pot as well, just when it looked like it was going to open up for him. Can John get himself going again? Good opportunity. 1 red on the left-hand side, just above the centre pocket. It's the only ball that he really needs to concern himself about too much. He's tried to move it, and he's moved it well.
It's a great shot. When he plays like this, it makes the misses seem even stranger.
Yeah, it really does. He looks in complete control, and to be honest, it's not the misses. Maybe, you know, he's kind of flying around the table. It's more a couple of the times for me. It's been just the mental side of the game. A couple of his shot choices. Oh, and then the miss. That's incredible. That miss. Wow, that's hard to believe. This one. You can see why he's all his considerations on landing on that black off 2 cushions, and actually landed on the black okay, but the pot missed.
Well then, you've got a chance for a reprieve, straight down on it. well played. It's a big miss that from Gaz. It wasn't a difficult chance for him, really. The pot at the bottom of the table, and that's what can happen.
A lot of times in this game it is about punishing mistakes, and he had an opportunity to punish a mistake there and really get himself dominant in this match, and he may have let John off the hook a little bit.
Next Monday, same time, same place here on Free Sports, 7 o'clock. It's ladies' night in the Shootout. Showdown. Deb Birchall and Kerry Griffiths go toe-to-toe for £1,000. And following those pair, we've got Danielle Randall versus Vicky Lomax, also for £1,000.
Gareth cannot get his break going at all tonight.
Oh, that's a missed pot from John. This is it again.
Tough pot from the cushion into the centre. And that worked out nicely for Gaz. A little bit of a double kiss, but squeezed it onto the middle pocket. And look at the table now. They're all there. Can land somewhere near straight on the red nearest the black into the left centre. You can then just drift down and take the black into the top left corner. So for me, I'd want to get down on the one at the bottom cushion quickly. That's what he's done.
Played that really nicely.
Anywhere near straight or anywhere on the red at the top of the table, top right, you should be able to get where you need to for the last two balls. This is a lovely visit to the table. That's perfect. The natural angle is just going to drift straight onto that last red. If you're not straight, you probably want to be just off straight with the white going down the table, not into the black. Which is what he's done. Just a little trace of left-hand side.
That's been beautiful work. Really, really good clearances from Gareth Higgins. And he nails the black as well. Beautifully done.
That was a lovely visit to the table, really, especially when you consider the mistake he made in the previous frame, not punishing the mistake from John, and you thought, has he let John off the hook a little bit? Very next visit to the table makes, you know, the calmest, confident clearance, perfect position all the way through, and he's back in front, a set and a frame up. He's looking very good.
He does have that air of a player who doesn't seem to be easily rattled, really ice cool almost in the way he plays.
Yeah, I said at the top of the show that he's, you know, he's quietly spoken, but he's got this inner belief and this confidence that he almost plays with that as well. He almost looks like he's quietly confident in the way he's playing. He's just calm and he's under control. He doesn't look rushed. He doesn't look flustered. Doesn't matter what's happened in his previous visit. He just looks very solid.
A great break from John, who gets the cue arm going again on the break, and he's made a couple of balls as well on this occasion to break a bit of a dry spell in that sense. These reds look pretty scrumptious, really.
If the black goes to the bottom right hand corner pocket, then this is fine and should be routine from here. If the black doesn't go to the right hand middle pocket, he's got to play for it into the centre, so he'll have to play a better positional shot onto the black.
Doesn't hang about, John Sullivan. Does not hang about.
And let's go to the corner.
Wow.
That's the most unbelievable of the lot. That is incredible. Just I just can't believe what we're seeing here. Some of these mistakes from John. You could hear what it meant to John when he missed that ball, just almost in disbelief that he can make that mistake. I mean, it looks tight from this camera angle, but he played for it. If it didn't go, he would have played for it in the centre. If it was even tight, he would have played for it in the centre pocket. So he would have felt that, okay, even if he didn't have the full pocket, he would have had at least 3/4 of it to play on it the way he did, because it wouldn't have been difficult from where he landed on his last ball to play middle pocket.
Yeah, well, fairly simple black now for Gareth Higgins to go 3-1 up. There you go. Big miss from John Sullivan. This is it again. And he misses the yellow there, so I'm quite away, which I think it's just throwing his eye line off, hasn't it?
I reckon, I mean, he may not have had the full pocket, but he certainly had at least 3/4 of it, so I don't think that was really the problem. I think, for me, he's almost playing, I don't know whether it's the shot clock or not. He is a quick player. He does play, you know, ultra fast anyway, but to me he almost looks like he's rushing every shot. He's almost playing absolutely as quick as he possibly can. We see players at times playing quick, you know, Jordan Shepherd, who plays as quick as anyone we see on free sports, but he never looks like he's out of control quick, whereas John looks like he's right on that edge of almost being out of control, and maybe he just needed an extra second there just to make sure, just maybe not even an extra second on that one shot, but an extra second on every shot. He's got 20-second shot clock and he's using none of it. He's absolutely flying around the table at every visit.
Oh, in response to that, Gareth hit his best break of the match. Has he got a shot on his first ball though? Scored his extension. He wants to be able to have one because he knows this is a good split. He knows it's a good chance to break the back of this match. Has he got a pot? I don't think he has. I think he's called his extension to try and look for one. Yellow off the yellow. Or does it cut? Oh, what a good shot that is.
Brilliant from Gaz, absolutely brilliant. I thought, first glance, I thought he could see the red over the bottom right-hand corner, but obviously blocked off from the yellow because you wouldn't take that cut back on, and you know the reds will go as well. Now he's made it. What a chance this is.
I did not think that went. That's a fantastic bit of vision. Well, the frame here really, I think, would clinch it. Just over a touch. I think he's okay.
Yeah, the white's going the wrong. He's going up the table, up the centre of the table. He could play this off the red if he was feeling really confident with that shot. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Just to control the white. You can see if he makes centre pocket, the white's going to be nearer the black. And now this is just perfect.
You can see he's playing confidently. He really is. Oh, well, just to say that, that's a mistake. He knows it. He knows it.
Yeah, he just potted that a little thick.
And he misses the hit. Well, John Sullivan. This is his chance to get himself back into this match.
I mean, this is as quick as we see anyone play. You know, this is miles quicker than we'd see Jordan Shepherd play. He's almost down on the shot before he's really got round to it.
Looks good when it comes off though.
It does, yeah, but it has, I think there's been a few mistakes because of it.
Well, it's 3-2. It is not over yet. There's still a lot more mileage in this one. If we take a quick peek at the stats. fairly even. 7-5 rather in total frames is close. It really is. And John will be desperate to get his break going again. If he can follow up his last one with a good one here.
It's the missed pots that are ramping up for John though, and it's sometimes the missed pots can rack up because you've got a lot of tough pots on and there's a lot of awkward shots, but for John that's not really been the case. He's missed a lot of pots that have been really surprising, ones that you just never expect him to miss.
He hits a break harder. He is a phenomenal breaker, isn't he?
Yeah, really drives through that pack. Great power. It's like he's straight away awkward.
Yeah, I was just thinking there. I don't think it was the best of first shots.
Playing this off the yellow or a cutback? Oh, it's the cutback. That was very thin. That was a poor first shot from John. He got the positional side of the shot wrong. Came back, well, I'm assuming too far with the white, but he may have been playing slightly further down the table, but either way it landed in a bit of no man's land.
Chance then for Gareth Higgins.
He would have preferred that to drop, but at least it's covering the top right hand corner of the table and it's come to the left hand side of the pocket, making that skill shot tricky. There is enough room to play on it, which he may well do here. Needs the white to travel. Yeah, nice shot.
As much time as I've seen him take over a shot.
I was just thinking the same thing. He got up off the shot and went round to re-look at the angle and check himself, and he still played that shot with 10 seconds left. That shows you how quick he's playing.
Ebden pace.
Problem he has is he's just knocked that red down the table into an awkward position and he's off straight the wrong way. This is so hard to land on the last red. Can he come on and off the side cushion and get across to the left hand side centre pocket? No, he's got to screw it. Yeah, that's no good.
Such a hard shot to play.
Yeah, and it was two positional shots before where he knocked the red awkward that's caused the problem.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
What a shot that is!
Stop that right now! That is an outrageous finish, and he loves it, John Sullivan. Stop that right now. That is 100% played for. It's his only option.
That's incredible. That really is. I mean, he's put himself in all sorts of trouble. So to come up with that cutback from a snooker and land on the black is absolutely incredible. And you consider he was 3-1 down and he was staring 4-1 in the face. All of a sudden, you saw the emotion come out of him there. He's 3-all and he is still very much in this money match.
Oh, right in it. That was an absolutely remarkable shot. The circumstances all tied into one. That's one of the best shots we've seen in these shootout showdowns. That was magnificent from John Sullivan. He needed that. Needed it big time. But Gareth Higgins has been pretty unflappable, generally speaking, so far in this match, and he can need to stay that way. This is the next break. Again, it's not the biggest split. He hasn't got a ball. John Sullivan would like a red rag to a ball here. That's a good chance to maybe go ahead. Let's have a look at this split. He likes yellows. Those two yellows plants on the left side of the pack. This isn't a bad clearance. He's going to go into them, I think, here. I think there's your answer.
It's not the best contact on the balls as he was going into them. Taking this long, I expect. Yeah, because he needed to control the white. If he takes it in the centre pocket, the white's flying around the table, so took it long and has missed the pot, but at least it's making two reds awkward.
Yeah, it's not the worst outcome that for John, really. Gareth now has to do a little bit of work to get himself back in this frame. That's come out nice.
Yeah, I'll be pleased with that. And I think John probably feels like he's got no choice but to try and just force it a little bit. There is 9 minutes left on the clock, but he's the one that has to win this set. He can't afford to draw it.
Yeah, 3-3 would give Daz Higgins the win. As things stand. I think he played the pot there.
Yeah, he did.
Which with that sort of queuing, that was brave.
Yeah, I mean, massive odds against. But he had not a lot else on. It was either a plant on the left-hand side or that really awkward queuing pot. He'll be happy with that as well, or relatively happy with that, because at least he's left the reds at the bottom awkward and tied up. The thing he'll be disappointed about is that the yellows that he's contacted have just gone awkward as well. Not a lot that Daz could do other than keep it tight.
Worth just keeping an eye on that set clock. Almost constantly in this frame.
We have had a frame that's lasted about 10 minutes in this match, so you know, there's no guarantees this frame will finish the way it's been played.
You just be really careful, guys. Just constantly busy.
And they're reinforcing the guidelines to players regarding the old social distancing.
Players just get into their normal habits out there, and there is a sort of almost conveyor belt system. And you know, if one player walks in or walks out on the left, the other player comes in from the right to make sure they keep as far away from each other as possible. But natural instincts take over when you're out there. Occasionally, you will get close to walking into each other.
John's been a little bit unlucky with where he's finished there, because he'd have come up good on one of these yellows. He might have had a chance to go for that frame off that pot. As it is, he can't.
May have left this red into the centre pocket, the one the cue ball's nearest to. So chance for Daz in this frame, probably the first chance in this frame that he's had. I wouldn't say it's pot. It was a good pot. I wouldn't say it was a great chance, simply because that red that's still in the triangle area is awkward. So he may be going up the table just to try and lay a snooker. I don't know how much room there is to land on that red, so I think snooker's got to be the way to go. Oh, and it's a very good snooker as well. That's excellent. Lots of right-hand side to get in behind that red.
So lots of value for Daz in winning this frame. So if he wins one, John needs to win the next two to force a decider in the match.
Extension, please.
And there's not a huge amount of time left. Extension called. It's a good hit. And as he left it open,
he'll be pleased with that. Just for a second when he hit that, he thought, oh, I've left him on the red at the bottom of the table, and that should be the frame, but the yellows come back and got in the way, and good result for John. Used his extension on that shot and then played the shot within his normal 20 seconds, which was, well, he may well come back to hurt him.
Well, I think that's a miss from Gareth. And that's going to drop. I just wonder, John fancies this.
This goes to the top right. He can land on the one to the bottom right, and it all opens up.
Well, well, well. Chance. Opportunity abounds. It's a bad one for Gareth to miss. For 4-3. To threaten a decider. Nails it, and he loves it. Bit of emotion for John Sullivan.
the match clock, please.
4 minutes and 52 seconds. And there's still plenty to play for.
Really careful.
Maybe me, but I think John has just slowed down a second or two on the shots. Just steadied himself. He's still playing very quickly, but I think there's just that little bit more control with himself around the table. He's not flying around it quite as much as before, and I think that has helped him. Certainly a very controlled frame in terms of waiting for that opportunity. A couple of really good escapes to stay in the frame, and then good long pop down the rail, and a good clearance that followed.
Time running.
John with the break too, just wants to make a ball. Oh, he's going to make the black. Oh, look how close that was. In the end, it's come up dry, would you believe it? He's nearly sent us straight into a decider. Oh, I can't believe that.
Oh, I thought that was going to drop on replay. That's
quarter roll, that's all it was.
Didn't need much more. Well, what it means is you want to be yellows, because the red nearest the black is a problem. Yellow at the top of the table's awkward as well, and the yellow on the right hand side, but you'd still do not want to be reds. So Gaz has got in first with that yellow. Of course, with 3 minutes 58 on the clock, John does not need to do anything here. Just has to bide his time. The way these are laid out, there is going to be hard for Gaz to come up with a quick finish.
Yeah, but also if it's a fairly slow finish, but it's still a finish, it's still quite a lot of time, and it would tie the set and win the match. He's got to be careful, Johnny. He needs to manage this pretty well.
I think he's just going to keep trying to tie things up. Gareth's going to keep trying to nudge the yellows out, and I think John's going to keep trying his best to tie it up. That's a clever shot. That's a very clever shot. Nudging the yellow down towards the black as well. Maybe dropping this over the black. Delicate shot. Very delicate shot.
Ooh.
Wow.
How on earth is that not dropped?
Well, that's it. I can't believe that's not dropped. That has probably won him the set.
That's amazing.
He thought he'd hit this too hard. You could see it when he stood up. He big puff of the cheeks, but that will win him this set, because Gaz has got 2 minutes 20 to try and find a clearance, and well, he's going to have to be some sort of skill shot on the black if he gets that far.
Oh, that's such a risky shot.
He might be able to open things up. Might be able to flick off the first yellow to pop the second yellow. If not, he'll play the first yellow and screw into the second yellow. He does play the shot I talked about, but the yellow, oh, it's disaster. The yellow's gone down towards the black. Just needed it to stay in the open.
Can he double it back towards where the white ball is now? He can.
Oh,
but
if that drops, he's going to have some sort of shot.
John at this point just has to pop balls, I think. He pots 3 balls, he's going to take it away.
Well, you say that, but I mean, he's played that shot with 16 seconds left on the clock. He could have used up 40 seconds there, and he used up about 15.
If that.
Yeah.
Still over a minute left. If Gareth can find a pot, if he can hit this yellow in the bottom corner, it is not over. He's not played that. Banking on himself having another chance to do it. Now surely John has to use his shot clock here. Surely. He is. Even then, as you can see, he's fighting his natural instinct to get down and play. It's not his game. One more pot and he's absolutely home safe.
Looks like he's
probably home safe after that, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to nudge up to the two reds by the black, but I think he's better off trying to get the white to the top end of the table.
Get away from that area under all circumstances.
Because what you're doing here, Gaz is going to get 20 seconds, and he only has to play 3 shots because his last shot is going to be firing into the area with the black. He's going to be trying to make his last yellow and black in the same shot, and he's going to get he's going to get a very controllable chance at it as well.
Well, then,
here we go.
Yellow onto black to win it. Oh, he was close. He was close. He was close.
John, it's your lag. John.
Oh, John Sullivan, you've got some cojones, my friend.
This previous shot, you can see that he had to really force the angle. When he dropped the one in the centre, he just wanted that white to roll an extra 2 inches or so, and it would have almost been unmissable. So John got a little bit lucky there. He could have. Yeah. I thought he could have got the white to the top end of the table to almost make sure of that. But either way, we are going to this tie-break frame.
So both players now will relag for the right to break in this deciding frame. We are now 1-1 after 2 sets played. So we will have 1 frame to decide it. That's not a great lag from John Sullivan. And the way that the pair of these have been breaking, it's going to be interesting. Gareth to break. Gareth's break has been far and away the least effective of the 2 players. Not even close by that metric. And quite often with Gareth's breaks, it's been quite a congested split. It's not been easy. And you've got to think that favours Gareth.
Yeah, on the balance of the way the breaks have been going, you'd expect John to get the first opportunity because Gareth has been breaking dry and John's been making balls. So John's had the majority of the first visit chances. If it is a cagey frame, then you do feel like, maybe that favours Gaz just a fraction. He's been a bit steadier through the match, but then John's probably won the 2 most tactical frames in the match. So I don't know. I think Gaz would just be happy to make a ball and give himself a chance rather than. How about this for the best split of his, the night? He'd be looking just to make good contact and give himself that chance.
Final frame decider.
This is it. 1 frame for $3.5 grand.
Time running.
Gareth Higgins with the break. Oh, he's made a ball. He'll have the first visit. And I tell you what, just as we said, it's his best break of the night.
That was without doubt his best break of the night, but I think the last ball rolling the white here just makes things awkward.
Not touching that.
Yeah, just for a second I thought he was going to have a great chance on either reds or yellows, and he doesn't have a good first ball. Oh, can he get through to the one over the pocket?
Yes.
Okay, I take that back. He does have a great chance.
This is a brilliant chance. And for all the work John Sullivan's just done, brilliant work as it was, it may be irrelevant. It looks like a really bog-standard clearance, this, for Gareth Higgins. Can he hold his nerve? He's left the white in a little bit of no man's land there, really.
Yeah, he's a little bit thinner than he wanted. He would love to have been on the red to the top left straight, and then it would have been fairly simple, these 3 at the top. Yeah, and now he is in no man's land completely. It's a subtle difference, but if he'd come back an extra 2 inches and was almost straight, it would have been fairly simple to clear up these 3 at the top, and it would have all been down to 1 good angle to get down the table. Now he's having to turn the table over to John.
John can see 1 ball, and that doubles across to the other pocket where there is a yellow hovering over it. Didn't play the aggressive option, just goes to tie up. And I don't think that yellow's gone really where he wanted it to. I think it has just about blocked that red into the middle though. So it is, in a way, job done. It's going to stop Gareth from going for these. Knows your answer.
Well, if he has, the overhead shows that red. I don't think it goes past the yellow into the middle now. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. He's having a very good look, but the way he played that shot, I think it probably does go into the middle.
Well, it's tight. Does it squeeze in? It does. It does. And now then, 2 more shots for a big win. This has been a great game. And Gareth Higgins now with the chance to finish it all. What a brilliant match between 2 really good players. Our Shootout Showdown decider is won by Gareth Higgins. What an absolutely belting match. So sum that one up for us.
Great match. Fascinating to see both players play. I think on the balance of the match, you'd say that Gaz probably did play the best pool. There was more mistakes made on John Sullivan's side of the table. You feel like he should have won the first set, and he made a mistake and lost it in the end. He did very well to get himself back in the second set when it looked like he was going to lose it, and then didn't get an opportunity really in the tie-break frame.
Absolutely fascinating match, and it went all the way to the bitter end, but in the end it's Gareth Higgins who takes the victory. We will hear from Gareth when we come back. Welcome back to the Shootout Showdown. Here we are then, we are at the end of another night here on Free Sports. It's been absolutely fantastic entertainment, a great second game, Simon.
Yeah, I loved it. Brilliant game. Both players really treated us. There was some mistakes from John which were a little bit surprising and a bit bizarre at times, but in between he played some excellent pool and was really entertaining. But with Gareth, what you had was something he played really consistent all the way through, looked really calm, really composed, and just probably was the deserved winner.
Well, he looked really calm and he looked really composed. We're about to find out if he really was. Gareth joins us now. That's our first question, mate. You looked really, really ice cool out there, but you've got to tell me there was some nerves heading into that final frame when you realised they were set up for you, right?
Yeah, definitely, and it definitely wasn't ice cold. It was boiling in there. It was horrible.
In terms of how you played, though, you must be delighted. There seems to be very few basic mistakes, and you played some really nice stuff at times as well.
Yeah, very happy with how I played. The first set came out the blocks quite quick. John came back at me to go 3-2 up. Played a great 5th frame, tactical frame. But held my nerve, got the first set, which was most important.
How was it playing John in that environment? Because John was flying around the table playing at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he was playing some unbelievable pool at times, but he was also making some surprising mistakes. But it seemed like you were able to stay in that kind of really nice controlled pace and rhythm, and you really held your nerve well.
Yeah, I think that I've been practicing it throughout this week, the shot clock, so it's worked in my favour. Just keep into the same rhythm every shot if I can do. Obviously sometimes it's not possible, but...
And in that final frame of the second set, when that black's hovering on the lip of the pocket and John's dallying around with it for a couple of shots, he watching over at the rim of your glasses, just go on, drop. It was so close.
I probably should have got it, to be honest, but rushing on the second to last yellow to leave the angle, I didn't leave the angle I needed, so, but it's one of them.
Hey, you got there in the end, mate, on the decider. A huge congratulations, a big win for you tonight, and
cheers,
all the best for when we see you again.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, there's Gareth Higgins. What a fantastic performance, Simon. A great exhibition from him as well. We don't see a lot of him here on Free Sports, and he really showed us what he's all about tonight with some really good stuff at times.
Just consistent all the way through the night. You can't go through a night like this and play flawless pool. It's just not possible with the format, the speed of play. You're going to make the odd mistake here and there, and he did that, but he limited them as much as he could, and when he did get chances and to punish mistakes from John, he took them. And I think in interview there, I asked him about how composed and how controlled he's able to stay, and for me he was just in that really nice rhythm. He was in his own pace all night long, and regardless of what John did on his side of the table, he was staying composed, and it really was a great performance from Gaz in the end.
I must say that the way he played and the way he held himself and the style of play, if you like, was very almost Dunster-esque is probably the best sort of best compliment I could give him.
Yeah, definitely. I sort of got chatting to him before the night's play, just after we had the interview that we did before the match, and he just came across as somebody very quietly spoken but very confident and had a lot of belief in his own game, and he feels like he could take on anybody in the world, and he's not going to go around and shout about it, but what he is going to do is back himself up with the way he plays on the table, and he played a great match.
Well, he certainly did, and we've got plenty more coming up for you on Free Sports as well. This is next week. We've got Deb Birchall and Kerry Griffiths going 1-on-1 for £1,000, followed by Daniel Randall and Vicky Lomax. They go head to head in our second game of the Shootout Showdown on Ladies' Night next Monday. Same time, same place here on Free Sports. Myself and Simon and the team here in the West Midlands. We'll see you then. Good night.
Too fast, too fly, too flaunt it, too gas, too high, yeah, we on it. We go wherever the crew going. I'm ready, so tell me who want it.
This programme is brought to you by Taom Billiards.